Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we're going to be taking part in the Festival of Clever Reflections, aka Historic Artisan. This is the format where you can play with only commons and uncommons, which means we don't have to deal with some of the worst parts of Standard, and I guess to a certain extent some of the worst parts of Historic, though we haven't really played too much of that on the channel. I do want to get to that at some point, messing around with Ulamog, one of my favourite cards. But yes, for now we're going to be playing some Historic Artisan, and today we're going to be piloting a deck that I've played on the channel before, but now it has a little bit of a tweak to it. Nothing too much of a change from the last time. I'm playing around with Chainer's Edict, which I suspect is not going to be all that great, to be honest, but it is from the new Historic Anthology, so I kind of wanted to include something in the list. So, Chainer's Edict, a 2-mana sorcery. Target player sacrifices a creature, and then you can flash it back from your graveyard for 7 mana. It is a little bit overcosted, but what it essentially is a chance for a 2-for-1. So if we can get that, that's going to be great. Because we're playing around with an Ill-Gotten Inheritance Revenge of Ravens list. So we're going to be trying to set up a hard lock, essentially, either by draining our opponent over several turns with an Ill-Gotten Inheritance, 4-mana enchantment. Beginning of your upkeep, deal 1 damage to each opponent and you gain 1 life. And then you can pay 6 to deal 4 and gain 4. Or with Revenge of Ravens, which says whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker, that creature's controller loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Essentially, for each Revenge of Ravens on the board, 1/1s become 0/0s, and it becomes a very big cost for them to attack, which allows us to set up our lock and win the game. The rest of our deck is essentially removal tribal. We've got cast downs to kill non-legendaries, Chainer's Edict, as I mentioned, Heartless Act from Ikoria to destroy a creature with no counters on it, copies of Wart the Plank as well. The reason I'm going 3 Heartless Act, by the way, and 2 Wart the Plank is because Soul Sisters is kind of a thing. So Heartless Act is not particularly good against Ajani's Pridemates and the Aerialists, whereas the Wart the Plank could be a little bit more useful there. So adding another 2-mana removal spell just to shore up that matchup a little bit. And then we've got Tendrils of Corruption, which is kind of the namesake in this particular case card. 4-mana instant, deals X damage to target creature, and you gain X life, where X is the number of swamps you control. So it pretty much forces us into mono black. So we got 20 swamps and 4 barren moors. I despise this card, but I also think it's kind of necessary in this deck, because this list can be very draw dependent. I wouldn't say it's definitely anywhere near tier 1, to be honest, because there are a few matchups that I think you will just auto-lose. Some that you will auto-win, though, at the same time, so I think it's worth playing. I just don't think it's necessarily all that good. But, yeah, as I mentioned, this deck is draw dependent, so I really wanted to add the Barren Moors in here so that if we did flood out of lands, at least some of those lands would actually be able to cycle away to get a redraw. We also have 2 copies of Arcane Encyclopedia, 3-mana artifact that has 3 in draw to draw a card, so we can use this to draw 2 cards a turn, which is really important, because we're going to be 1-for-1ing ourselves a lot of the time. Our opponent's going to play something, we're going to answer it. So we need to actually counter that that trade-off, essentially, by drawing 2 cards a turn, so that we at least have multiple removal spells in our hand at all times. So Encyclopedia allows us to draw 2 cards a turn. We've got Foreboding Fruit as well, a 3-mana Read the Bones kind of style card. Draw 2, lose 2, but if you pay 3 black, you get a food token, which can pay for 3 life. So we lose 2 life, we gain 3 off the food, so we're actually gaining 1 while drawing 2 as well. And then we've got Mind Stone, which allows us to get the turn 3 Revenge of Ravens or Ill-Gotten Inheritance, and when we've got too much mana, we can sack it to draw a card. So again, cycling through the deck to get the job done. So these are the enchantments that are really going to win us the game most of the time. As an alternative, we do have Ravenous Chupacabra, a 4-mana 2/2 that can destroy a creature an opponent controls. It's just an additional way that we can deal damage, maybe threaten planeswalkers and things like that, though I don't believe there's any planeswalkers that are in Historic Artisan right now that we particularly care about. Narset's probably the best one, but all of our draw, other than the 3 Foreboding Fruits, is something that we can draw on their turn. So we draw 2 cards a turn, but we can draw 1 on theirs, so we don't have to worry about Narset's passive and things like that. Other than that, though, yeah, let's play some games, shall we? If you do enjoy the content, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Okay then, we're in, and we don't have any of our payoff cards. Revenge of Ravens or an Ill-Gotten Inheritance is always good in the opener, but to be honest, Walk the Plank, easy enough spell to cast on 2. We got Mind Stone to get us to our inheritances and whatnot, if we do just somehow manage to top deck it. Vampire of the Dire Moon. Well, I don't think I care about that just yet. So this could be a Pridemate deck, which means they'll go land, Pridemate, swing, make a 3/3. If I don't kill it, I'm just going to choop it. Yeah. I guess I'll go Mind Stone then, progress my board. It is a Pridemate deck. Okay. Impassioned Orator. So really, unfortunately, what we've got here is a case of not really having a good target to kill necessarily, but I guess we're going to go after the Orator, and we'll trade off with the Dire Moon if it does attack in. Just means that I don't have to use a removal spell on it. I can basically 2-for-1 my opponent. There's the Aerialist, so yeah, they'll be incentivized to attack in, and I'll Walk the Plank the Aerialist. I'm going to have to be really careful with this Heartless Act. Maybe I choop here, actually. Do I choop? Choop means I can cycle Baron more and be really mana efficient. I guess I'll go with that. Nice. Yes, indeed. It's actually, I believe, the words epic right there. Alright, so if they do have an Aerialist or a Pridemate, I have the answer if they manage to get a counter on it, which Vampire of the Dire Moon's not going to do. Vanguard could give them the trigger they need, though. Alright, so cycle this away because we don't need it. Cast down and Revenge of Ravens. Okay, so we'll play Revenge of Ravens. Means their attacks aren't all that great. I'll trade off with the Vanguard if they attack in with that. Ooh, Call to the Feast, that's a first. Alright, so we'll take one. Not gonna block. Arcane Encyclopedia looks real good here. Yeah, I'm just going to save my removal spells for the cards that matter. I think as long as our opponent's only making 1/1s, we really just don't have to care. Alright, so there's a Ajani's Pridemate. It's dead. No counters. Boop it out of existence. Yeah, just save our removal for the creatures that are not 1/1s. So trade off there. And yeah, it's just going to be a case of draw a card if we don't have to use removal. There's an Aerialist. And a Vanguard. Alright, so actually, we want them to attack first. We want them to think like attacking into Revenge of Ravens is worth their time. When in actual fact, there is no payoff to it whatsoever. There we go, that's dead. They've basically, effectively, got a 1/1 here. Ill-Gotten Inheritance. Alright, I'd rather have Revenge of Ravens, to be honest, but I'll be fine, I guess. Let's go Foreboding Fruit, draw some cards. Pay the Adamant. If you pay the Adamant, you don't really lose life. And we have 3 mana for the Encyclopedia. So, I guess... No, I'm going to hold the Baron more for cycling, to be honest. Yeah, let's just pass. And there's another card that we have to kill. Twin Blade Paladin. This one gets 2 counters whenever you gain life. And double strike when you get to a certain life total. It's like these are dealing 0 damage, I guess. Are they? They're not really a problem, let's put it that way. That's a big boy. We'll draw a card. Cycle the Baron more. I guess they undo their damage, so they're basically just a trigger. Alright, Inheritance. So we get that going, and kill the Twin Blade Paladin. Back to the drawing board. Alright, so we're at 17. Opponent's going to attack. Yeah, let's see what life total we're at after combat. 16, wowee. Another call to the feast. Yeah, they're basically just free triggers, I guess, from their standpoint. Let's gain some life. I don't care enough about the Vanguard to kill it. Let's play Mind Stone as an extra draw and pass the turn. Again, all we really want is removal for the Pride Mates and whatnot. So we're going to kill that. Opponent gets their little trigger. They get to put some triggers on the stack for us. Woo! And we take 1 damage. Alright, draw a card. Ravenous Chupacabra, I don't care about. Let's just get to removal side of things, please. Let's have some removal. Yeah, I don't care about 1 damage enough when I'm on 20. It's like killing a Llanowar Elves on turn 7 when you haven't taken any damage. There's just no real reason whatsoever. I'll just save it for the only cards that actually make a difference. Tendrils, that's a good one. And our opponent realizes that they probably will not win this match. If I ever find another Revenge of Ravens, we shut off combat altogether. If I find an Ill-Gotten Inheritance, we fog this Vanguard. We know for a fact that they're never really going to get Pride Mates or the Aerialists, because there's 6 cards in their deck, and I have more removal than that. So, yeah, they're really the only cards that matter. Twin Blade, Pride Mate, Aerialist. This is probably 4, 8, 10, maybe, something like that. But never seen anyone use Call to the Feast, but I suppose it's a pretty decent tech, I guess. But yeah, Cry of the Carnarium, though, would make pretty solid work of this. Let's have another game. Okay, we are in, and I really do like this hand. As long as we're not up against Merfolk, we've got a pretty decent hand. On the play is also very good for us. And, okay. Artificer's Assistant. So this could be a Curious Obsession deck. I'm going to take the opportunity while I still can to Chainer's Edict. Let's get that out of the way. Yeah. Tranquil Cove. Okay. Maybe it's a Flyers list then. Right. We will... I think we just have to keep killing things, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know if we really want them to ever have a board state. Siren Storm Tamer. And 1 blue mana open. So we could shut them off of attacking with a Revenge of Ravens. Or we could set up our Encyclopedia. I think we'll go Revenge of Ravens while they're tapped out. They could have Spell Pierce, I guess, but they didn't. Alright. It's 2 0/0s. They now have a 1/1 that draws a card. Alright. Wow, okay, they have 2 1/1s that draw 2 cards. It's a pretty good hit. Wow. Wow. Jesus Crimbus. Alright, well, top decks, please. Bit of a weird option for them putting all the obsessions on the Storm Tamer, because on the off chance that they want to save the other, they don't have that opportunity anymore. Yeah, I'm just going to go with the Encyclopedia here, because I'm going to need the card advantage, same as our opponent. Because we're taking 1 damage a turn right now, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Yep, that's a dead card. Conclave Tribunal. Okay. Gonna go for the Revenge. Sure. Was not expecting Tribunal. So I've got the opportunity now to go for a Mind Stone Crack for a 2-drop. 2-drop removal spell. My odds are kind of there. If I played this... Yeah. think I gotta go for it. Good stuff. Alright, kill Spectral Sailor. Have we got rid of 3 out of 4 Curious Obsessions? That's pretty good. I mean, they could have Staggering Insight as well. I'm sure they do. There's a reason why there's white in this deck and we've only seen blue creatures. Wow. Okay, well that's a horrible draw. But Mind Stone can come down, give us some efficiency of mana, I guess. And we can draw in response for a 2-drop. Tendrils. Okay. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's currently gaining a 6 on a removal spell. If they've got like Staggering Insight, then it makes for a good target. Fairy Miscreant. So it looks like it's just like blue-white tempo, I guess. It's not really the usual Curious Obsession deck, because they haven't countered a single spell we've played all this game. Which is what I really expect to be happening. But we'll just keep ramping out, I suppose. And pass the turn. Is it correct here to actually Tendrils our opponent now that they're tapped out? Or do I just get them next time? I guess I could get them now. I don't know. I feel like I can get some extra value if they go for like a Staggering Insight. At least I get a counter out of them. I'm not sure. The alternative is that we just draw with Encyclopedia, which is also fine. So I'll take 3. Draw a Chupacabra, okay. And a land. So yeah, let's just kill Spectral Sailor. Boop the Sailor. Letting it go is odd. Since they had some card draw there. I'm just going to flash in another one. Drawing with 2 Azorius mana open. Dovin's Veto, maybe? Empyrean Eagle. Okay. Well, that does need a good old Tendriling. Let's go for it now, see if they got the answer. Otherwise we gain 7 life. Negate, yeah. And now we probably lose. Draw a land, which is typical. Draw a land, which is typical. You hate to see it. Moving on. Alright, we're in, and I really do like this hand. We've got some removal, a little bit of ramp to the Revenge of Ravens. It's going to matter about the matchup when it comes to whether Revenge of Ravens or Ill-Gotten Inheritance is the better card. Revenge of Ravens is going to be the better card. Fantastic. Alright, so we got a turn 3 Revenge, which is great. Tendrils to kill our opponent's stuff and gain life at the same time. Sack a creature, 2 damage to any target. Well, that's one way to go about it. And that's going to be the only way they really have to deal any damage to us as it currently stands. And it does actually stop the life gain from the Tendrils of Corruption, so at this point in time it's essentially a 4-mana kill spell. Not anymore. Now Anax is a target, and we are going to target that before it becomes a problem. So let's gain 3 life, kill Anax. Replace the board with things that don't matter. Yeah, Cast Down's the bad card in this particular situation, really. Oh, Ferocity of the Wilds, are you kidding me? Non-humans have +1/+0 and trample. So they can attack us. Every time they do that, they lose 4 life. So we've got to survive long enough to the point where they can't attack anymore and we can gain the life. So dropping an inheritance right now might move the scales a little bit in our favor. We can also remove in response to like the Revenge of Ravens trigger as well. So we get this, but we don't take as much damage. So we're taking 4 here, essentially. I feel like our opponent's gone up against our deck and they know how to fight against it. Such a weird situation. That's 2 to sacrifice, so I think we just get the Tendrils value in now. While we still can. It's really weak Tendrils, but it might be the call. I don't know when we're ever going to not have this open in the future. So let's kill... Can't be blocked. Doesn't really matter. It's the Initiate that's basically the one I want killed. Yeah, I mean... Dodger it is. Maybe the shock in response on their own creature. I'd be fine with that. Up to 21. Plays a mountain. Yeah, it's going to be really important to get this inheritance down. What the plank. So let's get that down now. This means that if they get to that low life total where they can't attack, they can't suddenly pivot towards weaponize the monsters as a win condition. They're going to have to rely on that right now. Which also means that I'm going to have to slightly pivot as well. My removal's not going to be as good. Since they're just going to be pinging me for 2 every turn with their creatures. Yep. So we'll have to see. Opponent's board's entirely gone. Fantastic. Alright, in order to counter that, we're going to have Ill-Gotten Inheritance popping down soon. Because if we're making 2 damage a turn, there's not really much likelihood of them having 2 creatures a turn. Okay, so we're going to take 1. Infuriate, sure. Take 5 down to 13. They are so perfectly suited to beat our deck. Let's see if they can actually do it. Ping you. Going for it now is very strange. Why now? I guess it's up to you. Let's play the Encyclopedia. Not gonna go after killing this token because I feel like they're just not gonna do that. Chandra's Spitfire, that's something that has to die. But for now, I don't have to kill it. So let's just Encyclopedia, draw a card, ping you to 13. We're gonna walk the Blanket instead, so that we have our instant speed removal later down the line. So yeah, they'll weaponize the monsters. And sack it for 2. It's actually going to be a surprisingly close game. Yep, ping me. I actually have, this is a removal spell by removing the counters from the token, which is kind of funny. Probably want to do that. Oh, no, actually, I probably want to do Cast Down because of Anax. I need an answer to Anax. He's going to have actual power, which is something I don't want, and this will not kill him. Could this be an interesting game of mono red? Maybe. Maybe. It's a very odd build. Is this what mono red looks like in Artisan now? Is that just me that's getting the weird situation? Alright, so they want to ping me. I do kind of want to allow it. Although I don't really have to. Let's just kill it. And then they'll sack it. And then they've took 1 damage for nothing. Which is what we want. I feel like what's going to happen, and I'm going to do my best to play around it, though there's not really much chance of me doing that. I feel like what's going to happen is I'm going to think that I'm in a really good spot, and then suddenly they're going to untap and they're going to go lightning strike, skewer the critics, skewer the critics, skewer the critics, and I'm going to die. That's what I think. And there's not a great deal I can do about that. Mind Stone. I just kind of have to hope that Ill-Gotten Inheritance will get me there. Should I try and draw for it? Let's do it. Baron Moor, cycle Baron Moor. As long as I've got Heartless Act open, that'll be okay. Alright, pass the turn. Heartless Act, Encyclopedia open. So this could be triple bolt. It's going to be Scorch Spitter, which is 2 points of damage. I'm going to go for Choop to kill it. Alright. Encyclopedia. Draw me life gain. Heartless Act. Not life gain. Want the plank. Okay. Well, Choop. Basically what we're going to be doing is trading life here, so we kill that. They might want to consider weaponizing to kill Choop. I'd be okay with it. Then again, as I mentioned, their plan might just be to bolt me in the face 17 times, so we'll have to see. Yeah, so that's, I've just gained 2 life there, which is pretty good. It's honestly what I wanted. Next. Land, awesome. Oh, is that a land and pass? Yeah, you love to see it. Alright. So when I feel like I could die to bolts, I'm going to have to leave open Ill-Gotten Inheritance's activation. So I'm not quite there yet, I don't think. I'm maybe a turn or 2 away from having to leave open 6 mana at all times. This is where they decide whether or not they want to bolt me in the face, I guess. We know you're running them. We know they're here. They could also be, like, Infuriates and things like that. These are pretty dead when you're not allowed creatures. Bit of a weird combo of weaponize the monsters plus pump spells. Incentivize yourself to have creatures, but then kill them. It's weird. Alright, you're going down to 9. I am going up to 10. Your bolts are getting worse. So is your ability to watch the clock. Can I play? Is that okay? Thank you. Alright. What do we do here? Could play Choop to push the damage through. Yeah, I think we do. So we're going to play this. It allows me to hit our opponent for 2 and close the game out quicker, which is definitely what I want. Also means if they have burn like that, it doesn't go at my face, which is also ideal. I don't know if they really wanted to do that, honestly. Their best option here is just a smork face and hope they don't draw loads of lands, which is what they just did. I'm going to draw more removal, hopefully. Swamp. Actually, I want inheritances, but... Tendrils! Yes. Okay. Alright, land go. Power to your opponent. At one point, this was a quick game. Alright, so kill the field. They sack in response, hit me in the face. You're gonna shock me first. It is correct. And then sack it. And now you're empty-handed. We'll go for the Encyclopedia draw. That's somewhere behind the stack right now. Revenge of Ravens. Yeah. Not a good draw. But I don't believe that it really matters, to be honest. We're just going to go Encyclopedia and pass. So close. We only need them to be at 4, and we'll win. There's an Anax. That is actually a lot of damage. Foreboding Fruit. And just pass. Take him to 6. Yeah, get him to use the activations now, I guess. Because we can actually Tendrils our own Chupacabra if they don't target it. So Anax is going to die unless they activate. That's 2 mana. Where's that heading? I actually don't know. Tendrils my own Chup anyway. Up to 16. That should win this game. So they got 4 points here. Yeah. Alright, so we take 4. Well, eventually we take 4. Currently we're taking 1 off this attack. They drew a land. Definitely hate to see that. There was 1 point of an attack in there, but they didn't want it. Fair. Alright, this inheritance will seal the deal. There's nothing really we can do here. We'll just pass, and then we'll win next turn. So we get double triggers here, and then the activation on the inheritance will finish it up. Field, yep. It's only 4 points. So, controlled this game straight out of it. Let's just do this for the sake of it. That's dead now. Yep. Hey, that's dead now. Yep. Well, it was an interesting deck from our opponent. For sure. But inheritance takes the day. 4 to you, please. And you're dead. Up to 17 towards the end of that game. Yeah, I feel like we had some lucky draws. There were definitely a lot of cards there that could have really turned the tables for them there. It's like we were very close to dying, I think. If it wasn't for, like, that last Tendrils, it would have been extremely close, if not an already loss. But, yeah, managed to pilot around our opponent's constant self-creature removal, which is not something I've seen before, so pretty good. Okay, we're in, and we got some removal. We're gonna keep it. Let's see what we can do. Is it Guildgate for our opponent? Alright. Could be many things. Improbable Alliance. Alright, so this could be a reasonable matchup. Chainer's Edict's going to be almost entirely dead, to be honest. Unless they go, like, 3 mana drop here, but I doubt it. Just going to go opt to make some 1/1s. Revenge of Ravens is pretty good against that. Which makes me think that this is a reasonable matchup, to be honest. Do I just Edict now? I guess I might as well. It's never getting any better value. Yeah, so we can play Revenge of Ravens. It's just, I'm wondering whether or not they're going to have the 2 mana... the cycling one that gives you an 8/8. That's pretty much our biggest enemy that can get around the Revenge of Ravens. We can save some removal for it, though. Opponent tapping out is great. Means that this is coming down guaranteed. So they get to draw 3 or discard unless it's an enchantment. So discarded Island and Chemist is inside. So Revenge of Ravens. We'll know if they actually have an out by whether or not they've already scooped, which they haven't. So yeah, we gotta dodge some Crackling Drakes and things of that nature. That's a bad attack. This is where they learn their lesson. There's actually 0 profit in that. They only lost life. They didn't gain any, and I didn't lose any. So yeah, we just need to kill Crackling Drake now. How do we want to go about doing it? Could have a dive down. I think for now, while I'm not actually in any risk of dying to it, I'm going to go for the slow removal here. Totally fine. On the off chance they have dive down, I'd rather find out now than when it actually really matters. So yeah, we basically have to save our removal for Crackling Drakes, and that's it. Everything else does nothing. So let's Mind Stone instead of a land drop. Kill Crackling Drake. And pass the turn. We can keep going with this all day. Mad Ratter makes 1/1s. Yeah. They're going to need something like Ferocity of the Wilds or just not have anything. Alright. So, pretty good situation. They could have a few cards that are very annoying, like the Cycling one, as I mentioned. Dive downs for Crackling Drakes. Things like that make this matchup way more interesting than that one ended up being, but yeah, Revenge of Ravens just sometimes locks your opponents completely out of the game, and I guess our opponent was relying entirely on 1/1s, which was not great. Not great. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you've enjoyed. I'm sure it's late, unfortunately, so, you know, have a good night, I guess, if this does come out in the evening for you. Hopefully you've had a great day. But yeah, make sure to like and subscribe if you did enjoy the content. Let me know down below what you guys have been playing in Historic recently. Historic Artisan, specifically. I'm kind of curious, because I'm running a little bit low on ideas. I've got a few decks that I want to play around with that are not like my own original ideas. There's like a green-black reanimator list that I want to play with, so we're probably going to be showing that one on the channel at some point, but I'm curious what you guys have been playing. If there's anything original and good, I want to know. So let me know down in the comment section below. Other than that, hit that bell icon if you haven't already, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.